The Class 175 Coradia is a diesel multiple unit built by Alstom between 1999 and 2001. The units are currently operated by Transport for Wales and typically work between Manchester and North and South Wales. However, they were originally ordered for use by First North Western and were intended to be used on services from Manchester to Blackpool and services between Windermere and Barrow-in-Furness, but were later transferred to work on what are now Wales and Borders long distance routes from Manchester and Birmingham to North Wales. The units, which were designed for medium to long distance routes, usually tend to work on the long distance Wales and Borders routes. However, TfW does put them to work on the Chester to Crewe shuttle and between Chester and Liverpool via the Halton Curve. The DMUs which kick-started my passion for the railways did have a bit of a shaky start thanks to a number of technical issues that impacted their reliability, but despite this I still think they're amongst the best DMUs on the network and remain my personal favourite diesel multiple unit, a recent spate of fires notwithstanding. In fact, when Arriva Trains Wales took over the franchise in 2003, the reliability of the units did improve markedly, and even under Transport for Wales seemed to be fairly reliable. It is only recently that technical issues have started to affect the units once again, but this is maybe down to the standard of maintenance slipping as the units are due to go off lease this year. With the CAF-built Class 197s being introduced on long distance routes, it is anticipated that all of the Class 175s will be sent off lease by the end of the year. For me, it'll be a sad day when the last unit leaves the depot at Chester bound for pastures new, although it is not known where they'll go next or even if another TOC will take them on. Despite the fact that there still seems to be a chronic shortage of DMUs in this country, it's not known if they'll go on to work elsewhere. This is due in part to the units having had a tough life working on the North Wales coast, so the undersides are possibly not in the best condition, which does seem surprising considering they're only just over 20 years old. But they could still be a perfect stopgap for some of Northern's routes until new DMUs are ordered. And it has been rumoured that both Chiltern Railways and GWR have shown an interest in the units. A total of 27 units were constructed, which consisted of 11 2-car and 16 3-car units. The units at the time were an upgrade from the loco-hauled Mark II sets, Class 101s and Class 309s that the Class 175s originally replaced. In recent years, the Class 175 could be seen working alongside Class 150s and Class 158 Sprinters on long distance routes, and it could often be a lottery whether you get a nice 175 or a rattly old 150 on services from Manchester to North and South Wales. The Class 175s are in my opinion better than the Class 158s, but there's not much that separates them in terms of comfort, but the 175s being newer are noticeably quieter and they do seem to feel a bit more spacious than the 158s. I think the only other DMU that comes close to the 175 in terms of comfort and quietness is the Class 180 Atlante, but that shouldn't come as much of a surprise as the Class 175 and Class 180 are based on the same design. The only other significant differences are the aerodynamic front end of the Class 180 and the more powerful engines to allow for a higher top speed of 125 mph compared to the top speed of 100 mph achieved by the Class 175. Class 175s are powered by 6-cylinder Cummins N14E-R engines, which produce 450 horsepower, with one engine underneath each of the carriages, with power delivered to the axles by a Voith T211RE3 transmission with a Voith final drive, which provides a very smooth power delivery. The Class 175s were always very comfortable units with plenty of legroom and were quiet, but the onboard entertainment system, which had microphone sockets that allowed passengers to listen to the radio, didn't last very long, and charging points and Wi-Fi were also lacking. However, the refurb carried out after TfW took over the franchise did bring the units into the 21st century, with charging points and Wi-Fi added, in addition to recovered seats, which made these great units even better. With the units expected to be displaced by 197s by the end of the year, and with currently no home to go to, now may be the time to ride a Class 175. However, at the time of recording this, most of the Class 175 fleet has been withdrawn due to the aforementioned fire which struck 3 of the units, so it may be worth waiting a few weeks before attempting to ride one before they disappear permanently from Wales and Borders routes. So that's the Class 175. I hope you found this video informative. If you have, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. It really would be appreciated. And before I sign off, I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters who help to make videos like this possible, so thank you. But I'm going to leave it there for today and say until next time, bye bye.